Hi people, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I am doing another reading Reddit stories for my entertainment and yours. So I am getting back to school, I'm getting back to my master's degree, and I'm doing my dissertation, and I thought it would be fun to do a back to school, a school themed, a college themed Reddit video for you guys today, so I can get in the mood again for school. So let's just get into it. So this comes from Select Listen 6908. Am I the asshole for insisting a student gets sanctioned? I am a 25-year-old male young history teacher. I've been teaching for a little more than a year and I love my job. I teach students from 10 to 18 years old and I think I am a good and fun teacher. I organize projects, class discussions and debates, pedagogical, pedagogic, pedagogical, how do you, pedagogisch. I organize projects, class discussions and debates, pedagogical games, etc. I have, or at least I thought I had, a pretty good relation with my students. We joke a lot and I'm always open to discuss anything with them. I don't give them a lot of homework, but I expect them to always learn their lesson from one class to the other. What do you mean? This is something I told them at the beginning of the year, and I don't always repeat at the end of a class that they should learn their lesson for the next because it's kind of a given. What do you mean they should learn their lesson? I checked they learned their lesson either by questioning them orally or with a written test. So, okay, if I get this correctly, it is you teach a class and you want your students to pay attention and to know exactly what you have lectured them about in your class. So if they come in to your class the next time, they should know exactly what you taught them and they are not allowed to have forgotten something. But you don't give them homework, they just need to revise. They just need to revise your lesson, right? I don't think, I mean, I'm not a teacher. First and foremost, I am not a teacher, but I do not think that is the best way to teach your students, right? I think homework will help them way more than just lecturing to them and them having to revise based on their notes. But okay, let's move on. Last week I did a written test with my 8th graders, 13-year-olds, to check they learned their previous lesson, and it was disastrous. I was extremely disappointed in them and told them that from now on they can expect a written test at the beginning of every lesson. I don't think they believed me, but as every teacher knows, once you said something to a class, you better do what you said, or you'll have no credibility and authority left. So when the next lesson came, they were greeted with a written test. Obviously, oh, that's so cute. My cat was playing with a blanket that was drying on the chairs and it fell on her and now she's just cozy in the blanket. So, okay, anyway. Obviously, they were not happy about it and some of them had not bothered learning their lesson again. As they were taking a piece of paper out to take the test, I overheard a student whispering, "This guy's worse than Hitler." Wow. Okay, they're 13-year-olds. That's something 13-year-olds do. They like to be very confrontational and they like to shock people with what they say, right? I was completely dumbfounded and I asked her to repeat what she just said. At first she wouldn't, but ended up doing it because I was not ready to let this go. When she repeated it, I asked her to pack our things and go to the principal's office. I taught my class as I would normally have and went to the principal's office myself at the end of the hour. There I was told she would apologize and that's it. No detention, no warning her parents, nothing. Just a fake ass apology. I'm not happy about it. I don't know if I'm being too sensitive because my family was directly impacted by Nazi Germany's policy. I put my foot down and refused to accept her in class until she's sanctioned for what she said. I think this is an overreaction. I do, I'm very sorry for your family, what they've been through. That's atrocious. That's so bad. I'm so sorry about that, but you cannot expect a 13-year-old to fully grasp what they're saying, first of all. And like I said before, 13-year-olds like to be confrontational. 13-year-olds like to shock people with the things they say. They feel like it's cool to say stuff like that. And also, saying that people are like Hitler is pretty standard thing to say, right? That's pretty much a go-to for a lot of things, especially when you're a teenager, I feel like. So it sounds like you're taking this too personally and you are taking it out of proportion, in my opinion. And why wouldn't a apology be enough? Why is it fake as? I think she knew immediately what she said, because when you asked her to repeat herself in class, she wouldn't. So she knew that it was bad what she said. Why is it a fake ass apology? Maybe she means her apology. Why can't you just accept her apology? And why does she need to be sanctioned for what she said? I think realizing what she said was wrong and apologizing and never doing it again is enough. Why should she be sanctioned as well? Moving on, I think I might be the asshole because the student has not learned about World War II and Nazi crimes yet. Well, yeah, you're the one that is supposed to teach her about that. So she probably doesn't understand the significance of what she said. Management is not happy about my decision to not accept the student in class, but I won't budge. So you think you might be the asshole, but still you won't budge? So am I the asshole for insisting a student gets sanctioned? English is not my first language, so I apologize for any mistakes. So let's see what the people had to say about this. I think you are the asshole because, like I said, she's 13, she apologized. That should be enough for you. You are overreacting, in my opinion. So top comment says, everyone sucks here. Her for saying that because it's such a cop-out, even if it was a harsh comment to a friend. But you for badgering her in front of the class until she repeated a comment she made in a whisper. Then bringing her to the principal's office, fair. And then demanding that she be sanctioned and not allowing her into your class until she's suspended. Also, if all of her students in the class aren't learning, it's your fault. Sincerely, a former teacher whose family has also been impacted by a fascist government. And then someone replies to this comment with, I want to copy and paste your comment, except with you are the asshole at the front. She's just 13, chill. And then the first comment is edited and she says, actually, I've changed my mind, you are the asshole. And I agree. She's only 13. She doesn't need to be suspended for something that is not that. I mean, it is a very bad thing to say. Let me get clear on that. You should not say something like that. It is very hurtful and it is childish. But she is a child, so what did you expect? I don't think this is grounds for suspension or any other sanction except for apologizing. I think apologizing and sending her to the principal's office was fair, and that is where it should have ended. And also, it is true that if none of your students are learning, it is the teacher's fault, not the student's fault, and you shouldn't be badgering them about that either. I think you have a lot to learn as a teacher. So OP has an edit, and he says, thank you all for the judgment. I accept the asshole judgment. I went overboard and I realize it. So that's good. As some of you suggested, I'm going to talk to the student alone and explain to her why her comment was insulting without mentioning my family history because it's not relevant to her. I do realize that. And see if she truly apologizes this time. Apologizing without even looking at me and smirking is not apologizing for me. Well, maybe she was just embarrassed. I'm going to accept her in class, but I'm going to insist on her getting an hour of detention. People telling me I'm lazy because I don't give homework. Where I teach, students finish school at 5:30 every day, and most of them have extracurricular activities, so they are able to do homework only after they had dinner. I don't expect them to do any heavy homework because I believe they already have a lot of work. I think that learning 2 to 3 definitions and dates is not harassing, and they should all be able to do it. Also, it's the only class out of the 10 I teach with which I've encountered this issue regarding lesson learning. I do not think it makes me a bad teacher, especially since most of my older and more experienced colleagues teaching this class have had problems with the quality of their work. Obviously, when I say I want her to have detention, I don't expect her to do nothing sitting in a class. I don't know how detention works for you, but here students have to complete a task given by the teacher. In this case, I was thinking she could do some research on Hitler and the Holocaust, and maybe write an essay or prepare a presentation. Unfortunately, because the curriculum is so heavy, I'm not allowed to use an hour or two to talk about Nazi Germany. They'll be covering it next year and then again in high school. Okay, so it's not like they're not learning about Nazi Germany, it's just that they're not learning about it this year, they're learning about it next year. Okay. Well, I think it's good that he sees that he is overreacting with this, but I do think that he is not listening to other feedback on how he should do his work. But of course, we don't know how good of a teacher he is, and like he said, he has 9 other classes that do not have this type of problem, so maybe it's just this particular group of students. But I'm glad that this is resolved. So the next one comes from Imedea Throwaway 43, and it is titled, Am I the Asshole for Giving My Students Crabs? Let's get into it. Okay, look, I know the title is bad and clickbaity, but I need some outside perspective. I'm a little too close and burned out to trust myself on this one. I, a 28-year-old female teacher, teach at a lower income school here in the States. In the 6-ish years I've been teaching, I've always had animals in the classroom. I think it's really important, especially for students who can't have pets. This year, for the animal biology lesson, in addition to having our pet turtle, I decided to invest in hermit crabs. Okay, this story is going somewhere else now. Great. Prior to the month-long unit, I had the kids do reports on animals and used hermit crabs as an example. Then, as the unit was introduced, I revealed the crabs. The kids were so excited. They took turns caring for them, learned about them and named them, etc. After the unit finished, I decided I'd pick 3 students to take the crabs home. They had to fill out a form, get permission from guardians, and the grown-ups had to come to me to get the crabs. All of this cleared with admin, of course. Everything was fine, and I chose my more responsible students, spoke with guardians, etc. a week later. One of the students told me something sad happened. Her crab died. I sent her to the guidance counselor to walk her through her grief and reached out to her mom to see how I could support her. Well, wouldn't you know it, according to mom, I am a total asshole for giving her daughter the pet to begin with. She's been crying nonstop and is devastated beyond belief. It wasn't my place to give her daughter a pet, and I crossed so many lines. You gave permission, right? The mother gave permission for the crab to be her daughter's pet. So isn't it actually like your mom gave you the pet? Sounds like someone's trying to place the blame on somebody else. She then complained to admin about me, and I had to have a meeting with the principal, who told me it was a bad idea. Crabs are fragile, and I knowingly inflicted grief on a child and hurt an animal in doing so. That makes no sense. It's her pet now. She has to take care of it. They learned about the pet. And if you take a pet, and this is also on the mom, you should research and see what the pet needs, what it definitely doesn't need, and how you should take care of it. And if they are indeed very fragile, you should know that, and you should be aware of that. I just wanted to make the unit fun and teach responsibility as well as social emotional skills. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole. I think the mom is the asshole. I think the mother should have researched more, and if they didn't want a pet that could die and have their child be sad about that, they shouldn't have gotten her a pet. And also, I feel like a pet dying is a great, as sad as it is something that teaches your child about grief and lets them go through grief before they have to go through it for a person, because inevitably someone is going to die in your child's life. And if they already know the concept of grief and they already have gone through it and they have already, learned how to deal with that, that might give them the tools they need when someone else dies and they need to grieve for them as well. And that might sound a bit heartless, but I think that's a great reason to get a pet for your child, actually. They will die eventually, and that will teach your child about death and grieving. So top comment, not the asshole. This comes from Crimson Knight 004. Not the asshole. It was a sad experience, but that's a part of life. And learning to deal with that grief is important for children to learn. Like I said as well. You went through all of the appropriate steps in getting parental permission and clearing it with the administration. You even set in motion a great plan for her to work through her grief. It's not a bad thing that she is crying. She's working through some hard emotions, but just because they're hard doesn't mean they're bad. Exactly. Crabs are fragile creatures, but so is any animal, so are humans. Life is fragile. And we do a severe disservice to children if we shelter them from life, with which death is a part of. Yes, I agree completely with this comment. And Far Anteater 256 also says, not the asshole. The parents' guardians had to sign official permission slips, so it becomes their responsibility for knowingly causing a child grief, not yours. They need to learn basic self-accountability. Not gonna lie, when I read the title, I was like, you what? But it's not that kind of crabs. All good. Okay. Yes. I thought it was going to be a very different type of story, but I'm glad in the end that it is not that type of story. Yeah, but I also think that you're not the asshole and that it's the mom's responsibility and that it is a learning experience for your student. So we have some edits here. Edit. The mom came in to pick the crab up and I gave her an information packet along with all the supplies needed. I also let her know that crabs are fragile and warned her that it might die and I'd be in touch if she needed me. I also want to clarify that the parents were aware of the unit and crabs as potential pets before the permission slips went out. I discussed the unit during conferences because it is a big unit. I wanted to see if there was an interest prior to executing the plan, and if not, I was going to keep them and use them as classroom pets for years to come. Sounds like the mother just wants to put blame on somebody else, where it's just her own fault. Edit 2. A lot of you are upset I didn't provide all the students with crabs. As stated before, it's not realistic. I provided all the supplies for 3 crabs, and this was one of many giveaways I do in the classroom. It's my own dime and my own time. I do lots of things to motivate my students, including pizza parties, teacher for a day, etc. I shower my students in love in ways that are tailored to my students' unique interests and needs. Out of the 22 students I have, only 8 applied for the crabs. Of those, only 4 parents agreed to it. I picked the 3 I felt most comfortable with. Can you imagine buying 22 crabs on a teacher's salary? Y'all are wild. Okay, well, we got some extra information. And last edit number 3. Thank you all for your love and support. I appreciate your stories and resources. I am very humbled and realize where I fucked up in this situation. I now have a fountain of knowledge on crab care, and moving forward I will not give out pets. Instead, I'll maintain a critter corner and provide adequate supervised care. Thank you all again. That was a good story, but I want something more juicy. I want the juice. Let's see what else I can find. Next one sounds like it could be some relationship drama. So this comes from a deleted account. But the title is, Am I the asshole for wanting my boyfriend to include me in the acknowledgements in his dissertation? So, my boyfriend just submitted his dissertation but refused to put me in the acknowledgements section. He did, however, put 4 of his friends in it. 3 of them, to be frank, were on his course, but he did include one that is his friend outside of uni, and has nothing to do with his uni work. I have been his girlfriend for almost 3 years now, and I have read through his dissertation multiple times and helped him proofread it and check it in terms of grammar and spelling and that kind of side of it, as I don't have much specialist knowledge of the actual subject. Every time he asks me to prove it, I lightheartedly bring up the fact that I'm not in his acknowledgements, and he just brushes it off. I know sometimes personal acknowledgements aren't appropriate and people sometimes will only make professional acknowledgements, but he has made personal ones in his. So am I the asshole? So no, I don't think you're the asshole. No. You are helping him with his dissertation. He has put personal acknowledgements in his dissertation, and he's purposefully not putting you in his acknowledgements, even though he is putting personal acknowledgements in there. So it's almost like he is not that serious about you as a girlfriend, so he doesn't want to put you in his dissertation that he's going to have, forever, and he maybe doesn't feel like he's going to have you forever. So I don't know what's going on here. Let's see what the comments have to say about this. So top comment says, if you have helped him proofread and check it in terms of grammar and spelling, then he is behaving very badly. This is a grueling, boring type of job, and it is really helpful. I was a professor for years and I still examine dissertations from time to time. Literally nobody reads the acknowledgements except friends and family, so they have zero impact on his professional image. I credited my cat because she used to wake me up in time for college. That's so cute. Nobody cares, which is why his behavior is so shitty. He might as well put you in. There is zero downside for him in doing so, so why doesn't he? I wonder if he is concealing the effort you put in. You're not the asshole, he is shameful. And then someone comments, he's not concealing it. He literally sees it as not important. She is doing her duty as his girlfriend per all the guys that act like this. Even if he bounced IDs off of her, he wouldn't think she was special. So, good point. Maybe this is just one of those guys that take their girlfriend for granted and everything their girlfriend does is just something that they should do and it isn't that special. And it's a major red flag for me, actually. It sounds like a very minor thing. He just didn't put a sentence in his acknowledgements where he credited you, but it is kind of a red flag that he doesn't do that. It's like, is he serious about you as his girlfriend? Does he see a future with you? And also, does he think that the things you do for him are special and worth acknowledgement? Someone responds, broad respond 2205. This reminds me, some researcher wrote a paper by himself, but accidentally wrote everything as though there were more than one researcher. After he realized instead of fixing the entire thing, he just put his cat as his co-author. That's so cute. Oh, I hope I can do that someday. This is definitely making me think about what can I put in my. Is it a dissertation or is it a thesis? I'm not sure, but my animals are probably going to play their part in it as well. I'm already trying to think of ideas of what I can put there. Flo Mojo Blow says, is this a sign of things to come? And then Green Understanding 39 responds, I think him getting angry because, I think we should go to the edits because there are edits. Edit. The acknowledgement to his friend was very personal, just about being there for him basically, and had nothing to do with any academic contributions to the work. A bit of context about the relationship. He is in his fourth year of uni, hence the dissertation, and I am in my third year. We do not live together. We are actually long distance, and I'm pretty certain he's not planning to break up with me. He's always telling me he's in it for the long haul and stuff like that, but whenever we've had a big issue that is possible break up on the table, he's always done everything he can to stop that. But who knows with men? Yeah, who knows? I'm not certain about this, and it's in a Barbie movie, right? Long distance, low committal, a low commitment, long distance girlfriend. That's what you are, sounds like. And of course he wants to keep that because I don't know. I don't know why do men keep their girlfriends if they are cheating or not finding them special. I'm so confused about that. Why is it? Is it just a power play thing, or is it just to keep up appearances with others? I don't know. As for those suggesting having a conversation with him, he's pretty much completely shut down any effort I've made to talk about it with him, to the point where he's literally told me to stop bringing it up. Okay, why is it such a big deal to him then? And also, the dissertation is done and submitted now, so my help is no longer required, but did help him with it, proofreading, etc., like I mentioned. At least a few times a month, a few times a month for the past 6 months, and it's over 100 pages long, so it does take quite a bit amount of time. Yes, it does. Like the commenter said, it's a very boring job, but it is very helpful because, as it is a very boring job that takes a lot of time, you're always very glad to to let someone else do that, and someone else can see more mistakes than you yourself could. On top of this, I have also helped with proofreading previous assignments for him in the last 3 years. It's really weird that he doesn't want to put you, his girlfriend of 3 years, that is definitely helping him a lot, in his acknowledgements. It's almost like there's something else. Update. I asked him to have a proper conversation about this, and he got very angry at me for being hurt that I wasn't in it. Angry. There was a lot of cursing in the text messages he sent me in reply, and was very clearly angry. That's such a red flag. But basically says that he's known for years and years who he was going to put in it, and has just stuck to that. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. So years ago you thought about who you're going to put in your acknowledgements, and even if your life changed entirely since then, you're not going to change that. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. So your girlfriend came along later in your life, but she doesn't mean anything to you apparently, so you're just not going to put her in your acknowledgements because you thought of the acknowledgement before you met her. That's weird. Other main reasons was it being his accomplishment and his only, and so he feels that people, me and his parents, aren't happy for him or proud of him for what he's done, and that we're only concerned with not having our names in it. That's so weird. He's stressed he's done it on his own, and so doesn't need to include anyone else in the acknowledgements. He even accused me of now tarnishing his success for him. Girl, leave him. Leave him immediately. This is such a big red flag. He cannot be happy about his accomplishment, which is entirely his, because you helped him a little bit, and you want to be credited for that, because it's being put in someone's acknowledgements is just a very nice thing to have. It's a very sweet way for someone to show you appreciate them, to put them in your acknowledgements. To get angry about that and be so insecure about your own accomplishments because someone helped you literally just proofread your dissertation, it's a red flag, and I think you should definitely leave him. As an FYI, I have given him so much support and told him how proud I am of him for this loads. Yes, it's very strange that he feels that just because you want to be put in the acknowledgements for acknowledging the things that you did to help him, he feels now that you're not proud of him. That's so weird. There's some very deep insecurities inside of this man, and I just said leave him. That's maybe a bit rash. Maybe you should let him seek help for these insecurities, but it is kind of a red flag that he doesn't want to acknowledge your help that you give him. So is he never going to be grateful for your help, and is he just going to take you for granted your entire lives? I don't know. Update to the update. He did apologize and admit he should not have spoken to me like that. He was just really bothered by it. Okay. Well, it doesn't really have a conclusive ending, has it? Does it have? But the overall vote on this one was not the asshole. I think everyone is definitely seeing your side, and yeah, it's a red flag for me for sure. And the fact that he got angry with you for asking him about this and cursing you out over it, that's really a big red flag. And I think, yeah, you should definitely leave him. This is not a good guy. Definitely not. Okay, next story. This comes from Wedding Plabber, and it is titled, Am I the Asshole for Exposing My Sister-in-Law for Bullying Me in High School at a Family Event? So in high school, I used to be friends with this girl, Annika. We were close until junior year when I discovered she had been spreading false rumors about me. However, even after I stopped being friends with her, she continued to make up lies about me and made my life hell right up until we graduated. We went to different universities and I'm in my mid-20s now. Girls can be so mean, and sometimes they just have to put other people down just so they can feel better about themselves and, you know, be in with the cool kids, I guess. My older brother, Carter, went to the same university as Annika. Recently, he announced that he had gotten engaged to his girlfriend. Our family was happy for him, but we were surprised at the same time since we didn't know he was dating anyone. He said he'd introduce her at an upcoming family party. So I'm curious right now, seeing the title, you're exposing the future sister-in-law for bullying you. Didn't your family already know about the bullying and who did it? Because it sounds like you were close until junior year. So I guess the family would already know her, right? And they would know that she started bullying you after junior year. Okay, let's see. The party rolled around, and guess who walked in the door with Carter? Annika. I honestly thought I was hallucinating. I felt sick seeing her again. Carter left Annika with some relatives, then came over to me and asked to talk. We went to another room, and Carter explained, okay, so Carter knows. He knows what he's doing. He'd met Annika at a party and didn't recognize her. But it was love at first sight. But after he found out her full name, he realized it was the same Annika who spread lies about me. He confronted her. I don't believe that. I'm not. You didn't recognize her until you heard her full name? Didn't you go to the same school as your sister? And wouldn't you have seen her many times? People don't change that much from high school to college. They still look the same, probably. He confronted her and she claimed to not remember me or anything she did. What? I do not. You were so close up until junior year and then you made her life hell and you don't remember her at all? Come on. He let it go because he really liked her. He then pleaded with me to be nice to her since she didn't remember what she had done and that she was a good person. I just told him I needed a moment to myself to process everything. That's ridiculous. That is. It sounds like this relationship between Carter and Annika is starting off with so many lies already. But she's a good person, so. Oh my god. When I eventually went back to the party, I decided I would ignore her. I didn't say anything rude, I just didn't talk to her or acknowledge her. She didn't talk to me or acknowledge me either, but when we sat down to eat, all hell broke loose. One of my aunts asked me how I felt about my brother getting married. I tried changing the subject, but she kept pressing, so I eventually snapped and said something like, I actually don't feel great about it, considering his future wife bullied me and never apologized. Everyone turned to look at Annika. She just started crying and ran out of the room. I can imagine, yeah. She probably was very dumbfounded by this, but she could have expected it, honestly. Carter went after her and they left early. The rest of the night was chaotic because everyone was asking me what happened, and I told them. Later, Carter called me and said I was a horrible person for embarrassing Annika in front of the whole family and I was being petty over high school drama. He demanded I apologize to her. I refused and said he was the awful one for blindsiding me with this, yes. And that if she never bothered to reach out and apologize for what she did while they were dating, I wasn't going to let it go now that they were engaged. He kept, yeah, also, why didn't they tell anyone that they were dating? Carter, probably was very embarrassed about dating the bully of his sister. He already knew that this was not a good thing that he did. Why else would they not tell anyone that they were dating and just, hey, we're engaged? That's weird. You're getting engaged to someone before your parents even know, before your family even knows that you're dating anyone. That's You knew, Carter, what you were doing. He kept insisting that she didn't remember and she can't apologize for something she doesn't remember. But I think that's bullshit. I ended up hanging up on it. Yes, of course that's I cannot no. If So it is probably true that people don't remember much of bullying because it didn't affect them as much as it did the ones being bullied. But this is a different situation. This is a best friend turned bully, a best friend who's being nasty and making up lies about you. I cannot believe that she didn't remember you at all. That's just an excuse that they have made up to hopefully get a soft landing into the family, but I don't believe any of this. The way I see it, I was asked a direct question and I provided a direct answer. Also, I don't think I have any obligation to cover for her when she made my life hell, especially when she's obviously lying about not remembering. Am I the asshole? So, are you the asshole for in front of everybody saying that she is your bully? No, I don't think so, actually. I think it could have been handled better by your brother and Annika. I think they could have handled this better and they should have expected something like this. And why wouldn't you tell your family that this woman that is now sitting at your table eating dinner with your family is your bully? No, I don't think you're the asshole, actually. So top comment says, not the asshole. I don't buy she doesn't remember. Plus your brother did and choose to ambush you at the family event. I think so too. Someone comments, her running out crying is already showing manipulating signs. Not the asshole. She should have apologized when she met your brother or even at the gathering. Or even before she even met your brother. Like, I think your brother should apologize to you as well. Why would he ever date someone who bullied you? That's such a bad brother. It's giving me bad vibes for sure. Shouldn't he hate her as well? So, Straight Singer 2912 says, not the asshole. I'd suggest in very earnest seriousness to your brother that if she does not remember, perhaps she needs a full medical workup. I mean, it's very concerning. It's concerning that your brother recognized her name as your bully, so he remembered, but somehow your bully does not, because his next argument will be that it didn't happen, or you're too sensitive, or you can't take a joke. Do your parents remember? As clearly your brother recognized the name, Annika bullying you. Are they on your side? And then OP responds, my parents remember Annika and they're mostly on my side because they witnessed firsthand how bad it was. Carter was already in college at that point. But they're still pressuring me to apologize to keep the peace. I honestly think they're just so excited about Carter getting married that they're willing to look past what happened and dismiss it because it happened almost 10 years ago. Oh my. That's so sad. Your parents are not even with you on this point because they're choosing your brother's side to marry a bully, a bad person. She was your bully, so she's probably not a very good person. I know that bullies can turn out to be good people too, but I mean, they are behind a few steps, wouldn't you say? What will she be like when they are married? So Straight Singer responds to OP, do not be the one forced to keep the peace and apologize / be responsible for someone else who clearly broke it. You were silent before someone pressured you to respond. I think silence is all they can expect. Your brother is the one ultimately responsible. He knew she was your bully. And instead of telling the family, giving everyone some runway, he blindsided everyone. I mean, if it was 10 years ago, why didn't he say something? My girlfriend is someone you already know. I'm seeing someone from our hometown. I'm dating someone OP went to school with. His silence speaks volumes. How about he apologizes for that, for starters? So aggravated for you, OP. Yeah. No, honestly, he should have He should have given you a heads up. He should have told, he could have come, you know what he should have done? He should have told your parents and you that he is dating this woman, Annika, and that he thinks she's changed. And if they could have dinner, just your parents and you, just the family unit, before they they came to this big family gathering with the extended family and announcing their engagement there. This could have been handled way better. And still, I think it's so weird to me that your brother would date the woman who made your life hell for a very important year of your life, because senior year of high school is one of the, especially when you are living it, it's a very big year for you. It's weird. It's really concerning. So this one comes from IKRS956, and it is titled, Am I the asshole for having my ex's university admission rescinded? This is a throwaway because I don't want this connected to my main. I, 18 female, dated my ex, 18 male, from sophomore to the end of junior year of high school. We broke up amicably and both moved on. He dated more girls during the summer, while I remained single. We were still around each other a lot because our circles of friends had blended and our younger sisters were best friends. At the beginning of senior year, I still texted him from time to time because we shared a government class and sometimes compared notes, but overall we weren't that close. Towards December, things with his girlfriend got rough and he began to lean on me like an emotional crutch, often asking me if I could come over so he could vent to me in person. An emotional crutch? I don't like that. I don't like that word, those words, an emotional crutch. You are friends for a reason, right? You cannot just be friends when things are fun and nice. Sometimes people have it rough and they need to vent, and it doesn't make you an emotional crutch. That makes you a friend who helps another friend in need. Once he asked me to go out to get dinner with him, I declined because I wanted to respect his girlfriend and because I was not his friend. He then decided it was a good time to tell me that he still loved me and wanted to get back together because he could see himself marrying me and having kids one day. You guys are 17, come on. I was extremely creeped out because I was, and still am, a teenager who wasn't even thinking about those things. I told him that I didn't feel the same and he did a complete 180. Oh? He called me a prude that was full of herself and said I should be careful because no one would want a girl with brains, oh no, and that he was my best option for a future. What? Oh no. Red flag. No, no, no. This guy, no, no, no. I want you. I love you. I don't want. If so, this is such typical guy behavior, isn't it? Telling you they want you and then want you to decline them. They didn't want you anyway. You are such a bad person. You're so ugly. You are dumb. You are too smart, apparently. I ended up blocking him so I could spend the holidays in peace. I thought that everything would go back to normal, but once I returned to school, everything blew up. I noticed everyone was giving me odd looks and was so confused until my friend pulled me aside and told me that my ex had decided to expose the truth behind our breakup. Basically, he told everyone who would listen that I was cheating and sleeping with others. Did this guy not watch 13 Reasons Why? And almost gave him an STD. To make things worse, he claimed that I had taken videos of it and shared it with him, which is, needless to say, a federal crime. Oh my god. I was pissed. One, I had never slept with anyone. He was the one trying to pressure me into that. Two, I come from a Catholic family. Who would disown me if they had ever heard a rumor that I was having premarital relations? And three, I was being accused of a federal crime. I went straight to the dean and told him everything. We attended a private school that didn't take such things lightly, and I was assured that swift action would be taken. I left it at that, trusting that the school would do what they felt was right. 3 months later, and I come to find out His admission to a top university along with his full ride scholarship for football has been rescinded. I was shocked when I was called to the dean's office and given a formal apology from my ex and his parents. Oh, at the time, it felt right, but now I feel like the punishment may have been too harsh, even if what he accused me of could have put me in jail. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole because you're not the one that what is this word? Resigned it? Who got him resigned it? It was himself, his actions, and the school. You just did exactly what you should have done. Go to the dean as soon as he did these atrocious things to you. So no, you're not the asshole at all, but I do think that this punishment is a bit harsh, which isn't your fault. It's the fault of the school, and also what he did was very bad. Like I said, didn't he watch 13 Reasons Why? This could have ruined your entire life, basically. Really badly, actually. So yeah, there should have been action, and you did do the right thing to go to the dean, but I think the dean did the wrong thing by basically ruining this guy's future entirely for something that he does as an 18-year-old. Sure, you're technically legally an adult, but are you at 18? No, your frontal lobe isn't developed entirely. You're no. I think the punishment I think the punishment is too harsh, but it's not your fault at all. And I think again what he did was atrocious and he definitely shouldn't have done that. So let's go to top comment. And the arsehole says, not the asshole. I would even say that the punishment wasn't harsh enough. Okay. He deserved it for being so nasty. What he did was defamation, an attack on your character. If it happened to me, I would have gathered evidences from people he told these baseless rumors to, texts, chats, etc. Tell my parents and sue his damn ass for defamation. It's okay to let him apologize, but stand your ground. Don't let them manipulate you. He pretty much ruined himself by trying to ruin you over a rejection. Rejection. What an ass. You know what, Andy? I think that going to court over this would have been a better punishment than ruining his entire future. So I agree that you should have probably gathered evidence and gone to court over this. I do not agree that the punishment wasn't harsh enough because it is a very heavy punishment. Magnetism says, not the asshole. You didn't plan for his scholarship to be rescinded. You simply went to the proper authorities to make certain his lies didn't impact your own life. He's the one who chose to spread all those lies about you in the first place. Yes, exactly. I completely agree with Maggie. We have an edit from OP. She says, "Whoa, hey y'all, I wasn't expecting this to get so many comments. It popped up on my Instagram Explore page this morning and I was like, whoa. Anyways, I'd like to thank y'all for the feedback. There seem to be more common questions and concerns, so I decided to answer the ones I've seen the most. How did a football player lose his scholarship over hurt feelings? I'm still really not sure how it reached the university, but it wasn't just hurt feelings. I don't think any good college would want someone who throws false accusations around. Also, he's not even that good at football." No, I think you're right. I think you're right about that. A university wouldn't want anyone who just throws false accusations around. That ruins people's lives. So, yeah, I agree. Why was your school so serious about it? I commented a few times, but the school faced a lawsuit a few years before my time because they didn't believe a girl who had almost been assaulted on campus. They got sued for emotional duress and criminal negligence, I think. And I don't believe they wanted a possible repeat there. It is so sad that schools need to get sued and have these things happen before they actually take the action that they should take in the first place. You ruined his life over a rumor. His life is definitely not ruined. My sister found out from his sister that he will be attending the top in-state school and he still has a girlfriend. He'll be fine. Okay. That's good to know. Why did you continue to text him? I never initiated the conversations. We both took a government class that was mostly underclassmen. So he would reach out to me if he needed help, and I helped him because at that time he hadn't been aggressive towards me. Yeah, that's kind of victim blaming, isn't it? Why did you text him? Well, why wouldn't she text him? Just because he is a man doesn't mean that she cannot just treat him like a person, like she would any other person, just because he could maybe do something to her. That's the wrong way around. That's victim blaming. I hope this answered some of your questions, y'all. I'll still answer more if I come across them. Thank you for both the kind words and the honest opinions. There's something really wrong with our society and the way men treat women. And I could go on and on and on about this, but just the fact that when women reject men and they turn around on them and either make their life miserable, try to make their life miserable by spreading rumors and lies about them, or actually assaulting them in that moment, it's it's really sad, and I really dislike the way that women get treated in our society by men, and how men just get away with that, and women even get blamed for the things that men do. It's crazy to me, and I am really not happy about that. Yeah, ending on a banger. So I did enjoy doing this video. I think the theme was a bit boring maybe, so next time when I do a Reddit video, I will definitely pick other stories that are less boring, but they weren't that boring. It's fine, but there are topics that are way more dramatic and would give more intrigue, I guess. So anyway, that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you liked it. Comment down below what you think about our society and the way women get treated and the way men get treated. And subscribe if you want to see more from me. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.